Hi, my name is Alysun Sanders, and I'm filming this video to talk about my book, which is called The Water Nymph. Now, The Water Nymph is about a boy. His name is Court Edson, and he suffered the loss of both his father and his older brother. And it is because of these two losses that he doesn't believe in heaven or hell. And he definitely doesn't believe in ancient Greek mythology. Which is why when he comes face to face with an ancient Greek myth, his whole world is turned upside down, and he ends up fighting for a world he's never believed in order to protect his loved ones. So now I'm going to read just the prologue of The Water Nymph, if I can find it. Okay. Court Edson's foot slammed down on the brake of his mother's truck as the tires slid on the sheet of black ice that was coating the bridge on Interstate 90. Next to him, his older brother, Seth, grabbed the oh-shit handle as he bit down on his lower lip in concentration and fear. He hadn't had his license for more than 2 months, and wasn't from northern Idaho. They didn't teach how to respond to black ice in driving school down in Southern California. He didn't even know that they still had ice on the freeway at the beginning of March. The truck slid to the right and did a complete 90-degree turn. Panicking, Court turned the wheels in the direction of the skid, pretending that the ice was just water. Water he could deal with. He had driven in the rain in California lots of times, and knew how to handle sliding on water. Seth reached for the wheel, which startled Court into turning it in the opposite direction. The truck's tires squealed and slid off the bridge halfway before finally coming to a complete stop. Quickly, Court turned the ignition off, as if leaving it on would cause the truck to tip over the bridge completely and dive into the lake below. He let out a breath that he didn't even know he had been holding and slammed his head against the driver's seat. The truck wobbled a little bit at the movement, and at that moment he felt every muscle in his body tense. One wrong move and the truck could go over completely. He took a quick look out the window and saw the long drop. There was no way they would survive if they fell. Panting, Seth glanced at Court. Are you okay?" he asked, still holding on to the oh-shit handle. Court merely nodded his head, trying as hard as he could not to make any sudden movements, while at the same time thinking up a way to get out of this predicament. A look in the rearview mirror told him that all of their furniture was still sitting safely in the back of the truck. Surely the weight of both the refrigerator and the couch would help keep the vehicle balanced. "Okay, Court," Seth said, immediately taking charge of the situation like he always did. "We can get out of this. He paused, closing his eyes to think. The truck wobbled slightly again, causing Court to inhale in fear. A few minutes passed with neither of the two boys talking. Finally, after deliberating quietly and not daring to move, Seth said, "All right, here's what we're going to do. You are going to carefully climb out the back window." "What?" Court exclaimed, feeling a small bead of sweat fall down his face. He couldn't believe he was sweating. It had to be less than 32 degrees outside. "Just shut up and listen to me," Seth yelled, and Court could see that his older brother was fighting back tears. "You have to climb out of the truck. Open the back window and go out that way. Then you need to call for help." "What about you?" Court asked. He did not like the idea of his brother sitting in a truck that was precariously balanced on a bridge that had to be over 100 feet high. "If I move even a little, the truck will fall." "It won't fall," Seth responded slowly, as if he was talking to a small child. "Now, get out of the truck." Court didn't move. He took another peek at the lake below and swallowed. I can't. If I get out, you'll die. Why don't you get out and call for help? I'm lighter anyway. The furniture will hold up my weight. And besides, I'm the driver. I need to stay." "You're my brother, Court," Seth answered, his brown eyes blazing into his little brother's blue ones. "I'm your older brother." "Driver beats brother," Court replied, as if this was just another one of their silly stupid arguments. Just get out of the truck, Seth growled, digging his fingernails in the handle that he was still holding on to. Get out of the truck and call for help. I'll try to get out after you. But call Mom. Tell her I love her. And Kyrie. Just in case. No. Court shook his head. The truck wobbled again, and he ceased all movement immediately. I'm not getting out of the truck. I won't leave you here to die. Get out of the goddamn truck! Seth roared, surprising Court enough to jump. They both held their breaths as the truck wobbled again, this time coming dangerously close to falling over. When the truck settled again, they both exhaled sighs of relief. Seth turned his attention back to his little brother. I won't die. I won't fall. Just climb out through the back window and call for help. I'll follow you in a minute. There was complete silence again as Court thought of what he was going to do. You won't fall? He asked nervously, and Seth slowly shook his head. With one last look at the lake below, he unlatched his seatbelt and carefully did as his brother said. The truck continued wobbling, but he ignored it and kept going. He had to get out of the truck. The sooner he escaped, the sooner he could help his brother. His feet landed smoothly on the hard, gravelly highway as he let out a relieved little chuckle. Seth was still in the passenger seat, a nervous smile stretching across his face as he watched Court standing safely away from the truck. He gave him a thumbs up, then gestured to his phone, reminding Court to call for help. With a nod of the head, Court dialed 911 on his phone. He closed his eyes as a cool wind whipped his dark brown hair across his face and into his blue eyes. His eyes were still closed when he heard a gentle woman's voice ask him what his emergency was. But he paid her no attention. The cool wind that had just seconds ago hit his face turned into a strong gust. With a loud squeak of metal and one last wobble, the truck dove down into the lake. A few seconds later, Court heard a loud splash, as if a bomb had exploded in the middle of the lake. He dropped his phone and ran to the edge of the bridge. By the time he got there, the truck had already gone under. He could still hear the gentlewoman's voice on the phone asking him what his emergency was. He wanted to jump down into the water and try to rescue his brother, but something in him told him to stay back. It was over. There was nothing he could do. There was nothing anyone could do. He reached down and pressed the hang-up button on his phone. The moment had passed. There was no emergency any more. That was the last time Court ever saw his brother alive. So if you've been watching this video, that was the prologue to the book. And if you want to find it, it's available on Amazon.com and CreateSpace. Once again, this is The Water Nymph by me, Alysun Sanders. And I'm hoping to post more videos in the future. Thank you.